The roar of the crowd raises the hair on your neck. It's the hometown pride for Gridiron Gladiators. This is indoor football. This is your Salina Liberty.
We have waited all week, but now it's Liberty time. It's the Coach Heron O'Neal Show, brought to you from AJ's Sports Bar and Grill in the Alley by Standard Beverage and Brooks Liquor. You can watch the Coach O Show live at salinapost.com. Now ready to talk everything Liberty football, here's Devin, Hanney, and Coach Heron O'Neal.
Welcome into AJ's in the Alley. We're in downtown Salina. Congratulations on making it through your 9 to 5 on a Monday. You still have time to join us here at AJ's in the Alley. A lot of great pizza specials and just great food all the way around. Of course, we have our friends here for the 21 and over crowd from Crown Distributing, Coors Light, and also the Banquet Beer. Coors Original, as we get ready to talk Liberty football with head coach Heron O'Neal. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and now he's also a guy that is 2-0 in the 2022 season with the Salina Liberty. So I want to thank you for coming on in. Come join us at AJ's in the Alley. You never know if you might get a pair of tickets for the next game, maybe season tickets. We've even done that on giveaways as well. Got a lot to talk about, and really the biggest thing that we're going to talk about here tonight with Coach Heron O'Neal is the elephant in the room, and that is the big victory over the Omaha Beef. 2-0 now on the season. You get the Beef on your home field, Coach, 36-31. Now almost 48 hours later, tell us what you think about the game that happened on Saturday night.
I mean, it was something that whole 24 hours, I'll never forget it ever in my life. In my 17 years, I've never experienced anything like that. To see how my team responded to different things that was going on, how the game was going from first quarter all the way through the fourth quarter, just to see how they just never stopped fighting, to see the vigor in which they played, the responsibility in how they played, understanding that we're here to play football. And when, as a coach, you're going to always remember certain games, but you're going to remember when your team got your back. And I'll say it like that. And I said some things at the beginning of the game. I said some things at halftime. I said some things after the game in the locker room. But this team right here is very special. And true, it's very early to say signature win, but it's definitely on my top 5 for everything that happened in this game and before the game and all of that good stuff. So I'm just happy that our defense did what they needed to do. Our offense made the plays when it was time to make the plays, and certain players stepped up. Tyree stepped up. Autry stepped up. K-Hop stepped up. Kodak, Keenan Gibbs, we call him Kodak, stepped up. Theron Allen Jr. stepped up. I always say that because his name is just like mine, but it's not Theron, it's Theron. So very happy with guys that he hadn't even played this year.
Yeah.
For him to make those big third down catches and doing what he did out there, and also being able to kick return and do what he did there, those were all huge things that was going on. Shaq blocking 3 extra points. You only win by 4. Do you think that was important? Yeah. Absolutely. So Coach Martinez and Coach Carlos and Coach Dillon stepping up in the beginning of the game, huge. I owe them a lot. And I will repay them as time goes, but that was big of them to be able to do that for me. And it's a game that I will never, ever forget.
We talk about culture and the family type of atmosphere, right? And it all begins with the ownership group here in this team and with this franchise. Sometimes on the field it's hard to build that early on because you have such roster turnover from year to year. Games like this tell you, though, that you have the ship steered in the right direction, don't you?
Absolutely, but the foundation was laid with our ownership group bringing in Coach Martinez, myself, Coach Kavanaugh, Coach Dillon, trusting me to bring in players that's going to do what we need them to do on and off the field. That is the foundation that's laid. The crowd was the biggest crowd that's ever been there since I've been a coach in Salina. So it's growing. It's morphing into something even bigger than I even imagined. And I know our ownership group is tickled pink just how it's actually working the way they wanted to, and I think we probably even a little bit ahead of schedule.
You and I talked a little bit about the crowd last year, and we compared it to the Gillette crowd, right? They were really great crowds there in Wyoming to support the Mustangs. You know, it was 3,500, 4,000 people in that arena, which was perfect for that arena. You put 3,500 to 4,000 people in Tony's Pizza Event Center, and you look around, it doesn't really look like that much because with the football setup, you're 5,500, 6,000 maybe at most. So you can have 4,000 people in that arena, and there's still a lot of empty seats. But, man, does it get loud in there. And that crowd Saturday night, you're right. I mean, it was fantastic.
The thing about it is what people don't understand. We have a party pit area, which is our sponsors. It's been, about $5,000. We have our presidential on the other side that's about $10,000. That is not in the stand, so people don't really understand what's going on. But, yes, those people right there and then the fans all around, that was the loudest I've ever heard it in Salina. It caused 4 to 6 penalties, delay of games, false starts, and all of that type stuff.
Yeah.
Our football IQ and our stands are starting to grow. It's starting to rival my Billings Outlaws teams where the fans understood when to get loud, when to be quiet. But when it's time to get loud, that was the loudest I've ever heard it. It gave, as you see, I got chill bumps of how excited I am of how the future of the Salina Liberty is very, very bright.
Well, I've noticed, too, they take cues off you as well. Yeah. I mean, when you're out there on the field, you can get them going or shut them down pretty quick when it's time also. So that helps as well. That's got to feel great.
Absolutely. I mean, just to, like I say, I came here, like I said, I'm from Chicago. I live in Billings, Montana, so I've traveled and been a lot of different places and everything like that. And I always try to put my own signature on each team that I do. But I'm very emotional, especially on defense. I'm a defensive coach. That's why I'm so glad that Coach Martinez is now my offensive coordinator. I don't have to think as much as I used to. I trust that with Coach Martinez to put us in the right play at the right time, I can really focus on that defense. And in that second half, I'm not going to lie, I think I may have called maybe just one play offensively. Defense is where my mind was, and I wanted that crowd in the game. Once I seen that it affected the outcome on the field, this is what home field advantage is all about.
Coach Martinez, he's doing a pretty good job so far,
Oh, my God. Coach Martinez, that's my man right there. He is a guy that's been with me since 2011. When I first met him, we almost got in a little brouhaha because he told me to move around, and I'm going to have to tell you off air how that all went. But Coach Martinez has been a very loyal person. He's a very dedicated person.
Yeah.
He's a very professional person. He's going to do his due diligence to make sure every aspect of his offense is doing what it needs to be doing when it's time to do what it do. He's done a great job. This was, to me, that team that we just played they're known for their defense. And when we needed to have things dialed up, Coach Martinez dialed them up. And I don't have any negative to say about Coach Martinez. He was there for me before the game. He was there during the game, and he was there for me after the game. That's my guy right there. And I never will ever say anything negative, but he got his time to shine. And he's making the most of his opportunity with what was given to him.
So as you know, myself along with our broadcast team, Brian Byrne and Russ Kossel, we get there super early to prep and to get set up and to do pregame with you and get everything kind of set in preparation for a game day. I got to tell you, Coach, we rolled in about 3 o'clock, and there are people out there, I counted at least a half a dozen sizable tailgates. And, I mean,
Absolutely.
They're getting after it. They have barbecues on trailers. There's trucks just full of stuff. And I got the feeling, I was like, man, like you said, I'm kind of getting, man,
Exactly.
It's like this thing right now is starting to turn the corner. I know at one time the atmosphere here in Salina was great for indoor football, and that came crashing down. But you can see the building process. It's taken a little bit of time to buy back people's trust in our product. But I'm telling you, it was big step on Saturday.
And again, I will give 100% of the credit to our ownership group. They had to endure everything that happened previous Coach Martinez and I coming up here. Mm-hmm. Everything.
Those are 2 years that we don't want to talk about.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, and it took a lot of money.
Yeah.
and commitment and family that these owners got wives and girlfriends. They got to put their money where their mouth is, or this team is gone. Mm-hmm. They did that, and they didn't hesitate about it, and they gave a guy that everybody said was washed up an opportunity to do what I do, because I knew I wasn't washed up. I had some tough years there. That last year in the IFL, my quarterback got hurt. I can sit and make all kind of excuses.
Sure.
I didn't get it done. So in this game, it's either you win or you lose. I didn't get it done my last year in IFL, and I had to fall back and become an assistant and humble myself. And God humbled me to give me the opportunity to come back to be a head coach. They gave me that opportunity. They had the foresight to see what was inside of me. That I call it that scrappy dog, that inner dog inside of me that I was not finished. And the things that they're doing, with the marketing, Coach Flax is out there every day. He's dropping things off. He's meeting with people. Coach Martinez meeting with people. Dan Keyboard's out here meeting with people, doing this, getting this done. I mean, just look at our stadium. Look at all the advertisement we have with dasher pads, with the banners and all of these different things. That was not there my first year when I came here. It's starting to grow. I was at Russell's today, and Dan he's a big sponsor of the Salina Liberty, and I had an hour conversation of how impressed he was with where we started to where we are, and he's even got some new ideas of where we can actually go into this next stratosphere. So I'm super excited about everything moving forward.
I didn't plan to tell you this story, but what the heck, it's our show. So we're winding down season number 2. You're not here yet. And I remember I walk into an arena. The season it's depressing. And I see Tom Perez and I see Dan Mendocino. Tom's always smiling anyway. So
he's very happy.
It was hard to tell that he was having a good day. But then when I talked to Dan's doing this, and he's like, just wait. we got our guy. Just wait. And sometimes I get some insider information from those guys, and I know not to repeat it, but then I got excited. I'm like, well, heck, man, what's he talking about?
Absolutely.
He said, just wait. And I always remember that about Dan and that day in the arena. So obviously now we know what he was talking about with you and your system and your people coming aboard. We're up against the break. When we come back, we will dig deeper into this victory over the Omaha Beef, 36-31 on Saturday here at Tony's Pizza Event Center. We will also look ahead to the next game that's coming up already this Saturday here at home. Still want to stick with us still. We have Tyree Adams joining us after the 6 o'clock break, and then we'll sit down with Dan Mendocino to round it all out. It's the Coach Heron O'Neal Show. We're at AJ's in the Alley, downtown Salina. Come join us as we broadcast live on KINA and also on SalinaPost.com.
East corner of 9th and Otis, preserving the 131-year history of St. John's Military School and continuing its involvement within the Salina community. Visit us at www.sjmshm.org. Find us on Facebook or call the office today at 785-404-2333 for more information or to book an appointment.
PRP, or platelet-rich plasma injection therapy, has received quite a bit of attention since its use by many professional athletes. Professional football players like Peyton Manning and Jamal Charles have used PRP therapy for sports injuries and to avoid surgery. But you don't have to be a world-class athlete with millions of dollars for this cutting-edge therapy. PRP is available to you in the Salina Pain Clinic. Call the doctors for a consultation and see if this treatment is right for you. See them at 200 South 5th in the Salina Surgical Arts Center.
The Salina Liberty play here.
This Saturday, the Salina Liberty returns to the airwaves here on KINA for another indoor football game. Hi, everyone. It's Devin, Hanney, inviting you to join us for Liberty football coming up on Saturday. We'll start pregame, brought to you by Comfort Heating and Air at 6 o'clock as we get ready for the Liberty hosting the Queen City Insane Asylum. It's Liberty football coming up this Saturday at 6 o'clock on KINA.
Liberty indoor football on Salina's sports station, KINA.
Let's go!
Spring is here, and that means more time outdoors with your favorite beverages from Salina Wholesale Liquor. More time outside means more barbecues and time on the go. Perfect time to pack our portable wines and ready-to-go cocktails. We also have a great selection of new seltzers and a huge selection of wine and whiskey. Spring in and save big now at all 3 locations. In Salina at Sam's Club, off 9th Street behind Cadova, and on the corner of Iron and Ohio. We have better prices, we're close and quicker. Salina Wholesale Liquor.
Think about the word precision. Precision represents quality and the fact of being exact and accurate. Isn't that what you want when it comes to electrical? Precision Electrical Contractors in Salina brings exact and accurate quality to electrical jobs in Central Kansas since 2003. Precision Electric's focus on quality and performance, combined with their experience and dedication, creates a winning set of finished products which saves their customers money. Don't rely on so-so electrical. Visit the team at Precision Electrical Contractors. Online at pecsalina.com.
It's spring cleaning time, and that means you should add one more little thing to your to-do list. Call Comfort Heating and Air for an HVAC clean and check. Our technicians will make sure your system is in tip-top shape, so when warm weather arrives, your AC will be ready. That means cleaning your coils, checking freon levels, double-checking all electrical connections for safety, even changing your filters. With locations in Salina and Clay Center, we are the company that cares. Comfort Heating and Air.
You can rely on the company that cares. We're Comfort Heating and Air.
And now back to the Coach O Show with Devin Hanney and Coach Heron O'Neal.
Downtown Salina, we're at AJ's in the Alley. Devin Hanney along with Heron O'Neal, head coach of the Salina Liberty, now 2-0 on the season. 36-31, you get the win over the Omaha Beef. You open the home portion of your season in big style, Coach, and let's dig more deeper into this game. It's kind of a trading war here early on in this game as you start out with the football, you go down the field, you end up with a Tyree Adams 6-yard touchdown run, and that makes it 6-0. You go for 2 after that touchdown, and you end up coming away without the conversion. Talk about that decision a little bit and also that opening drive to take the lead early.
Well, the opening drive cost us a lot. It cost us our MVP, and there is no secret. Tracy Brooks is my favorite player. I mean, he's the longest-lasting Salina Liberty ball player. He's the most loyal, the most modest superstar that I've ever been around in my life. Mm-hmm. And he went down, and he's going to be down for some significant time, but he was our holder.
Yeah.
We had not really tried out another holder that had dressed. I mean, Anthony Love is our second holder. So when you don't have that, I was like, well, let's just go for 2, and we'll figure it out as time comes. And I go to the sideline. It was really this simple. Who can hold? And Tyree being the captain and you know, the offensive rookie of the year that he is, I can. Never practiced it, not one time. And if I'm not mistaken, Mikey was flawless on every kick that he did. I mean, that was some magical stuff. I mean, that's why they call him Houdini. But we did not have Tracy, so Tracy affected the game in a lot of different areas by him not being there.
You always talk about 3 parts to the system, right? And a lot of times kickers get blamed for a lot, but it's the snap from Kelvin McCoy, it is the hold now from Tyree Adams, and it's the kick from Michael Pursley. So you have 2 of the 3 components that are brand new, and as you said, had never really worked together, but your kicking game was pretty good when it came time for point afters and also some field goals.
It was the difference in the game.
Yeah.
Just like how I feel the championship game, national championship game we had in Salina last year, Omaha won the special teams. They had a kickoff return to the house. They blocked the field goal. That's the difference in the game. Mm-hmm. This game, Pursley didn't miss anything, and then on top of Pursley doing well with the field goals and extra points, the timely bounces out that he were doing that we're looking for, of bouncing that ball out of bounds where they don't even get a return, are very key of setting up our defense in great field position. So very, very excited about Michael Pursley. Excited that Tyree, like I said, stepped up as a captain to handle his business, but to never practice it and go flawless. I don't want to have to depend on that anymore. I'll say it that way. We will be practicing it as we move forward.
The Beef come back. They score on their initial drive. They also miss an extra point. You alluded to that a little bit earlier, too, with Shaq Bradford, former Kansas Wesleyan University Coyote from here in Salina. Shaq impacted the game immediately with that block, and to me, he changed the thought process a little bit of the Omaha Beef. Not only was he affecting their point after touchdowns, he also affected maybe the thought process of fourth down, whether they wanted to kick that or go for it or not, because they weren't comfortable, it seemed, in the kicking game since Shaq was wreaking havoc.
Exactly, because, I mean, Shaq is a guy that didn't play in the playoffs, but he didn't cry and whine about it. He got himself together mentally, got in that weight room, watched his film, came back a new Shaq. And Shaq is new and improved.
Yeah.
He knew what he needed to do to be a better football player for us. And he understood that everything counts. I'm telling you, those 3 blocked extra points, like you just said, it's just not the 3 extra points that he blocked. It's the mindset on some of those 4th and 2s that if he blocks it right here and we pick it up and run into the house, that's a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
That breaks the game wide open. I know it would be bothering me if I was a coach that had to make that decision and we couldn't block him all night. I'm not going to sit up and try to kick no field goal if we can't block this guy.
Right.
So he affected the game in so many different ways. I wish it was a special teams player of the game because he would have been it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you said here at the end of one, it's 13-12 after you get a touchdown. Tyree Adams finds Isaiah Scott for a 23-yard touchdown pass. Go through the fourth quarter again, and you're trading blows back and forth. But Omaha was able to get the leg up on you right at the end of the second quarter. And we talk about this a lot. Who's going to surround halftime with scores? Omaha was able to do that and get an advantage on you. Andrew Jackson had a 1-yard touchdown run with 9 seconds left in the half. That put the Beef up 19-16 at halftime. Then the Beef came out with 10:15 left to go in the third quarter, got another touchdown, but their extra point was blocked again, and it was a 9-point game, though, still a 2-possession game at 25-16 with about 10 minutes left in the third. What was your thought process at that point, down 2 scores?
Well, it was basically making the adjustment defensively. Coach Carlos came up with some different things. Coach Mendocino came up with some different things that we were going to do defensively and give it a shot with that happening in that third quarter. And I'm not going to say exactly what those are. That's for their coach to figure out. But we did do that. And to have a coaching staff that can offer up these different things and different ideas is music to my ears. But those adjustments that were made won us the game in the end. So, I mean, if you didn't see the third quarter and fourth quarter, go take a look at it and see how our guys made the adjustments coaching-wise. That it's not just the Hall of Fame coach, Coach O. We got a great coaching staff that knows exactly what they need to do, and they get in where they fit in, so to say. If you got something pertinent to say it. If you don't cloud up my headset. That's what I always say. So
love the Too Short reference there as well. So fourth quarter here, Andrew Jackson, he gets a quarterback sneak. After you guys scored it in the third quarter, you bring it within 2, but his quarterback sneak put the Beef up 31-23. Now I want to talk about this because they had a 9-point lead. You score a touchdown. You get your extra point. They leave theirs on the table because they went for 2. Again, I can't help but to think Shaq Bradford is impacting this game and their thought process, because you take the easy one, right? You go up by 9, that's 2 possessions.
Exactly.
That would be my math. But they don't get a 2-point conversion, and when they went for it, and that left it at an 8-point game. So then you knew things were on the table again, and here we go in the fourth.
That was the break we needed. I mean, when you play a big-time football game, decisions are being made by a lot of different people. That decision and the result of that decision was how we won that game. And coaches get paid to make big-time decisions, not to say that their coach made the right or wrong. I don't know, don't care.
Right. It was the right decision for you.
Off of that. Exactly.
So 31-23, you guys go storming down the field. Tyree Adams to Ed Smith for a 5-yard touchdown, and you bring it back within 2, 31-29, and then that's where the defense perked up and took control of this game. We saw Kendrick Harper a couple of times early on in this game, and he admittedly said that he got burned on a couple of plays. He comes up with a touchdown or with an interception, and I don't know that it was a bad throw more than it was a great defensive play. He went up, high-pointed the ball, came down with the ball, and then completed the catch as everything kind of hit the turf. He was able to keep the ball on his midsection and complete that play.
I mean, the play of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, without that play, we don't win that football game. And that's what we brought K-Hop in to do, is to make game-changing plays. It's the reason why he has the most interceptions of anybody to ever play indoor football. he is the GOAT. And it's not just being the GOAT in the first quarter. It's being the GOAT when the game is on the line. Because if they score on that drive right there, it's a whole different ball game. He gave us that glimmer of hope that we needed, the confidence that we needed, and then our fans got involved in it, and the rest is pretty much history.
Off of that K-Hop interception, Trey Griffin took it 15 yards for a touchdown. Michael Pursley's point after was good. Salina took a lead 36-31, but you weren't quite done yet. Dwayne Autry in the middle of the field. And again, I'm not sure that this was a bad throw by Omaha, other than it was a great play. I saw Dwayne pretty much fully extended and almost horizontal, getting that football, and somehow he held on to it.
I mean, he's a very misunderstood man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even myself misunderstood him earlier in his career. But thank God that we both come and understand that he needs to be here with the Salina Liberty. That play right there, it sealed the deal. It was another play of the game made by our defensive backs. And that's what our defensive backs has over 150 interceptions collectively for their career.
Yeah.
And that's if you look at last year's team and this year's team early on, 2 games in, the interceptions are way up compared to what they've been in the previous 2 years or so. Just extremely excited about his football IQ, his passion to play football, his passion to be a role model for all of these young kids that's out here. I mean, the figurines he makes, the T-shirts he makes, the jerseys he's making. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe I need to hire him as my agent to market some different things. He's a marketing genius. Ball hawk. I mean, he's doing his thing. Got a great agent in John. I mean, he's got it really going on. I'm just so thankful that we came and understood what he can bring to a team that was pretty good, but he's bringing that missing piece that we didn't have, that energy, because I'm not like Coach Martinez in the morning of being a morning person. Him and Autry can sit there and get the whole team fired up. I'm sitting here like, man, can we just get it go? That energy that he has, it's infectious to everyone. So I'm so thankful that we do have Dwayne Autry on our team, and him making big plays for us is huge.
We won't spend a lot of time on this, but you put the cap on a victory there, 36-31. Big win early on in the season. I don't know, you and I talked about it. It's almost exhaustion. You don't want to put a lot of weight in that game because that game doesn't matter in June. You do want to put some weight in that game because you were successful. You came from behind. The way the game played out and the conditions, the resiliency of your team, and the ability to just not quit. Now you go and you turn the page and you almost have the anti-Omaha game, right? I mean, you have a team coming in that's not in the league. Every team in the CIF has a non-league opponent, and you have the Queen City Asylum coming in Saturday. What do you hope to accomplish in this game in just, a couple of seconds? What are you looking at to do Saturday?
Well, it's going to be guys that get the opportunity that have not played this year. That's one. So they're going to get a chance to prove what they can bring to the table as well. But we also got our regular guys because we only have 25-man roster.
Yeah.
Everybody has to play. And just seeing what these guys that have waited their opportunity to play, what they do, as well as how do we handle success. Because some teams can't handle it. They come out and lay an egg the next time. So we'll have all our guys ready to go, ready to play. Coach Martinez is already working on that next game plan offensively. I'm working on it defensively, and I'm looking forward to a great crowd there. Hopefully we can build upon the crowd that we had this past Saturday and just keep going up all the way to the top and see how that all works out for us.
And just to give people kind of a preview on the schedule in the next 2 weeks, if you want to catch a Liberty game, you want to do this weekend on the 2nd because then it's the trip to Billings, Montana, right? You get to go home and be close to home there. But that's a Sunday, April 10th in Billings. So if you want to catch a game in the next 2 weeks for the Salina Liberty, Tony's Pizza Event Center is a place to do it this Saturday, 6:35 kick. Tickets available at Tony'sPizzaEventCenter.com or visit the box office during the week and select your seat. And it should be fun as well. We're going to talk to Dan here in segment number 3 coming up. But we always know that this ownership group has a lot of stuff going on.
Absolutely. And they're doing a lot of things behind the scenes that take us to that next level.
Give me 30 seconds here. Tyree Adams, he's going to be our guest coming up on Player Profile. Or 3 words if you can get him out here. Tell me about Tyree.
He earned his name, Houdini. To me, he's the best player in this league. He's playing not just to, win ball games, but to win a championship, but also to play at that next level. He has that ability. and the scouts are drooling over him.
Yeah.
So all we have to do is finish. We had a great start, but let's go ahead and finish and do what we need to do from there.
Thank you, my friend. From AJ's in the Aller, we're up against a break. Here's the news on KINA. Back with Tyree Adams after this on The Coaches Show.
Not calling for regime change. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. President Biden defends comments he made over the weekend about Russian President Vladimir Putin.
President Biden says he is not walking anything back after saying Russian President Vladimir Putin cannot stay in power.
The fact of the matter is, I was expressing the moral outrage I felt toward the way Putin is dealing in the actions of this man.
But the president says he was not articulating a policy change.
He continues on this course that he's on, he is going to become a pariah worldwide, and who knows what he becomes at home in terms of support.
Other world leaders have cautioned against heated rhetoric, calling for the need to de-escalate. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
A Kremlin spokesman tells PBS President Biden's comments were quite alarming and a personal insult. The Pentagon says 6 Navy Growler aircraft are set to arrive in Germany today. Spokesman John Kirby says their purpose is to bolster readiness and enhance NATO's defense posture. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has signed a measure that does not allow instruction about sexual orientation and gender identity for kids from kindergarten through 3rd grade. The legislation also allows parents to sue.
It's about protecting parents' ability to be involved, and it's making sure that the classroom instruction, particularly at these very young age, are focused on math, science, and reading.
Critics have dubbed the measure the Don't Say Gay bill and says it marginalizes LGBTQ people. President Biden called the bill hateful. A vote expected this hour from the House committee investigating the January 6th riot on whether Peter Navarro and Dan Scavino, 2 allies of former President Trump, will be held in contempt of Congress for refusing to cooperate with the panel. Scavino was subpoenaed last year. Navarro was subpoenaed last month. A vote for contempt would then go to the full House, and then after that it would move to the Justice Department. America is listening to Fox News.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Gas prices are coming down a little bit, but people are still looking for ways to save.
Gas prices down 6 cents over the last 2 weeks, with a national average $4.37 per gallon, according to analyst Trilby Lundberg. AAA with a national average of $4.24 per gallon, the highest prices nearly $6 in L.A. With some people in California now traveling to Mexico, where gas prices are about $1 cheaper. The lowest gas price in the country today, $3.70 per gallon in Tulsa. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
President Biden has released his new budget blueprint. It calls for higher taxes on the wealthy, lower budget deficits, and more money for police, education, public health, and housing. The proposal calls for a minimum 20% tax on the incomes of households worth $100 million or more. One of the largest airports in the country is getting a security upgrade.
This fall, Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport will begin replacing X-ray machines at the main security checkpoint with more advanced scanners to screen carry-on bags. They're called CT, or computed tomography scanners, and will generate higher quality images. While X-ray machines provide 2D images of bags, CT technology creates 3D images that can be rotated and viewed at different angles. It can also detect explosives, including the liquid form. Eventually, travelers could be allowed to keep their permitted liquids and laptops inside their bags, and that could speed up the screening process. Kathleen Maloney, Fox News.
Walmart will no longer sell cigarettes in some of its stores. The Wall Street Journal was the first to report some stores in California, Florida, Arkansas, and New Mexico were on the list. Walmart is just the latest chain to announce the end to sales of cigarettes in some stores. CVS stopped selling them in 2014, while Target stopped in 1996. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
And now here's Devin Hanney with your Liberty Player Profile, brought to you by Standard Beverage, Brooks Liquor, and AJ's in the Alley.
We are back here at AJ's in the Alley in downtown Salina, and it's time for our player profile. QB1, Tyree Adams. Some people call him Houdini, if they can catch him and see him, but that is the nickname that you've garnered. Let's first talk about that, man. I got to ask you, Tyree, the nickname comes to you. And I made a call last year. It was in one of the first games that we played. You made a spin move, just totally lost the guy that was going to try to tackle you, ended up in the end zone. And I said that you're a magician. And then somebody came to me, I think it might have been Tom, and he said, we call him Houdini. And I was like, well, that just makes sense. Where'd that nickname come from?
Honestly, I think it came from you, honestly. That was really the first time that I heard it, and I think I shared it on my Instagram status, and people started calling me Houdini, and like you said, he's a magician. People calling me Magic Man, and anything with magic in it or whatever it is, I like it. I'm going to go with it.
I love it. Let's get to know you a little bit. St. Petersburg, Florida is your hometown, right? Mm-hmm. I love Florida, by the way. We need to talk a little bit about that. Western Carolina Catamounts. I love the Catamount mascot.
Man.
Talk to me about early on. Let's go through high school first. Where was Tyree Adams at in high school? Multi-sport athlete.
Right, yeah. So I was a 3-sport athlete in high school. I played football, basketball, and ran track. And track, I only did track my junior and senior year in high school. And that was really because I had an injury my sophomore year in high school to my knee, and I wanted to be able to dunk. And in ninth grade, let's go back a little bit, I was 5'2½", 98 pounds in the ninth grade. Ended up hitting a little bit of a growth spurt my sophomore year. Was in a quarterback competition, and then ended up getting my chance to play in the preseason game, and that's where I got hurt. And it looked like it was going to be a season-ending injury. Ended up coming back, able to play the last 3 games of the season, where I did, have that starting position at quarterback. And that's where we got into, my track season, where I actually went to college at Western Carolina University for track.
Okay.
It was for track. It was a partial scholarship for track and football. And very little money at the time, but I was just worried about getting myself in the door. I just wanted to have an opportunity to get an education and, to continue whatever sports I was going to be playing at the time. Once I got to playing or running track, I was doing the high jump, and my junior year in high school, I jumped about 6'4". My senior year in high school, I jumped 6'10", and then my freshman year in college, which was the last year that I did the high jump, I jumped 7'1".
Wow. And you're not a tall guy either. Sometimes we see those guys that are jumping over 7 foot. I mean, they have, long legs and things like that. And you're doing it off of springs, right?
Right, man. I try to do a lot of calf raises on my downtime, so I think that helped out for me.
That's awesome. So you go to college at the next level. You're still doing 2 sports. What's your favorite? I mean, sometimes guys look back, and I know Kelvin McCoy told me one time, Kelvin thinks he can play baseball in the major leagues. He's got that southpaw pitch coming in. What's your favorite?
I gotta stick to football, man. It came down to it in college, because I did win the indoor and outdoor championship in high jump, and they wanted me to start losing weight and everything, and actually taking the high jump more serious, because I was 4 inches away from qualifying for the Olympics at the end of my freshman year. But with me playing quarterback at the college level as well, I had to gain weight. So at that point, I had to kind of choose one, and it was either you lose weight and try to go the Olympic route, or you chase your dreams that you've been chasing this whole time, and chose football.
Football was pretty good to you at Western Carolina. You had a pretty good career, and when I look up your stats, I didn't get so engrossed in the numbers, but I saw you are the career completions leader all time at Western Carolina. Pass attempts all time, most passing yards, most passing touchdowns, most total offensive yards with over 11,000 yards. football was pretty good to you at Western Carolina. You did well.
Yeah, you know, and pretty much just like this situation down here in Salina, my coaches at Western Carolina put me in a great position. You know, they kind of unlocked the door for me as far as the offense went, and just kind of try to lead me in the right way as far as not only on the field but off the field as well, and becoming a man. You know, so I just kind of, you know, listen to what my coaches tell me to do and always give it 110%.
So when you get down to Western Carolina, what's next? You kind of look around. What was the talk you were hearing? What was some of the conversations for you to move on out of college?
Right, yeah. So some of the big conversation was looking at early, late, or late draft, right around the 7th round, or even the free agent pickup. My agents were talking to me with a couple of teams. The Steelers and the Colts were in conversation, and after that, you know, it was a little bit of the COVID thing while I was training for my pro day I was going to have at Appalachia State. And it was some CFL talk. And once the CFL talk kind of got quiet, you know, the borders weren't open. And it wasn't going to be any way for me to be able to get into training camp or anything. You know, I was still working out, you know, doing my thing that as far as that. And I was at work one day, and I received a call from my agent that said Coach Martinez reached out to him, and they were looking for a quarterback, and they were interested. And the moment he told me that, I looked up Coach Martinez. I looked up Coach O. And once I saw who Coach O was and Coach Martinez and, you know, what Salina Liberty was all about, I asked him to send me over the contract.
Tell me about the phone call from Coach Martinez. What's that like? 'Cause he can sell people, right? I mean, he can.
Hey, man. You know, Coach Martinez, he a fun dude, man. You know, everybody loves Coach Martinez. I mean, you gotta be a bad person to not like Coach Martinez, you know. But that phone call there was pretty much the same type of phone call it'll be if he checking up on me after a game or checking up on me just in the middle of the week, you know, today. And that's kind of what you can just hear the passion in his voice. You can just hear that he actually cares, not only about you as a football player, but as a person as well. And that just goes a long way. And then, you know, he instantly got on the phone and talked about Coach O and told me about the ownership group here. And once I came here for the first time to the report date last year for camp, I got to meet all the owners, got to meet everybody, and you know, it was more than what I expected in a small town like Salina.
So you come in your first year of indoor football last year for the Liberty. You get off to a great start. You help this team get out to an 8-0 start, but along the way you get an injury. Then it's kind of rehab, it's sitting, it's watching. You never went away. You never vacated Salina. You were always right there. I always see you on game day. You were on the field, right next to the sidelines, wherever. How tough was that to watch? Well, you talked about being hurt early on in high school. Did that help you at all when this happened last year?
Yeah, I think I've been through a lot of trials and tribulations, you know, and one thing you can't do is feel bad for yourself, you know, no matter what. I feel like if you can continue walking, if you can continue moving, you can continue playing. You know, it's all about what's in your heart, and not only that, it's all about who you're playing for. You know, I'm playing for my family that's 23 hours away from me. You know, they catch all the games on live stream, and this year actually be one of the first games that they've been able to make after my 4 years in college, not missing a game at all.
Yeah.
Even traveling to Hawaii to catch one of my games. But it's just, you know, it's all inside of you, and how you gonna fight for your brothers on the field. And it's real easy to give up, you know, it's real easy to give up. But when you're playing for the people that's around this community, it makes it a whole lot tougher.
You obviously healthy now. You come back in, get the starting job, and these guys believe in you. When I talked to Coach O'Neal, Coach Martinez, there was never really a shop around for who are we going to bring in to compete with Tyree. It was kind of your job to have. What kind of confidence did that give you right out of the gate?
It gave me a tremendous amount of confidence, and not only confidence, but just I don't only hear it from my coaches. You know, I also hear it from the owners. They text my phone when when I least expect it.
Yeah.
And they're telling us, like, you know, keep doing what you're doing during this off season. You know, make sure you're working out, make sure you're training, because you're our guy. You know, we need you. And you know, I still relay the message to Coach O. You know, because there will be another quarterback that was coming in at the time. You know, and he told me that, and you know, I told him, like, make sure you're playing the best man. I'm a competitor. I love to compete no matter who it is back there. I just want to compete, and then you got to go with what's best for the team. if that means that I'm on the bench or if that means I'm even playing another position. I just want to be here to win a championship.
You're off to a great start. The offense is clicking. Coach Martinez is calling the plays. You're executing on the field. Where's this team going to go? We always talk about there's just one goal for this team, right?
That's right, man. It's only one goal. I mean, we hope and we pray that we can only go up. And the thing that I really like most is we've seen a lot of mistakes. And don't get me wrong, they're very correctable mistakes. And I think it's still early to speak, but, you know, around this time last year, we felt like we've reached our peak. You know, we felt like we were unstoppable at that point. We didn't carry that on us and upon us, you know, every day throughout the last year's season, but we still felt like we've made it at that point, and anybody we played, we were going to step over. And, you know we have a good team right now, but I think with this team that we have this year, it's just a little bit more fight every single week, no matter what our record is, no matter what it is. It don't matter who we're playing. You know, we go play Salina Liberty football, and we go play to win.
He's QB1 right now, 2-0 on the season, getting ready to play a non-league opponent on Saturday at Tony's Pizza Event Center. It's Tyree Adams, quarterback for the Salina Liberty, off to a 2-0 start. Best of luck to you throughout the season. We'll be watching all the way.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Tyree Adams here, our player profile. When we come back, Devin and Cena will join us. We'll see what's on tap for Saturday in this non-league game at Tony's Pizza Event Center. That's coming up next. You're listening and watching to the Coach Heron O'Neal Show right here on KINA and also on SalinaPost.com. Very good.
All right, thank you, man.
The CAP's 33rd Annual Benefit Auction is online April 1st through 3rd. Proceeds support child abuse prevention programs. The CAP's auction is brought to you by Sage Oak Wealth Partners. Register today at capsofsalina.org.
St. John's Military School Historical Museum, located on the northeast corner of 9th and Otis, preserving the 131-year history of St. John's Military School and continuing its involvement within the Salina community.
You pull up to a stoplight and notice a great-looking truck across the intersection. Odds are that truck was customized by the professionals at K4 Trailer Sales and Truck Accessories in Salina. K4 has it all. Suspension and lift kits, a variety of bed covers, power step boards, floor mats and WeatherTech products, LED lighting, wheels and tires. And if you're towing, K4 has any type of hitching equipment, and we will also install. K4 Trailer Sales and Truck Accessories on West State Street in Salina and K4TrailerSales.com.
Springtime is here and we're on the go. Visit Commercial Tire Center and get ready to roll. We're driving more and more and getting ready for springtime activities. From the smallest lawnmower tires to passenger tires, farm tires, and the largest truck tires. Call Commercial Tire for repairs that aren't tire related. Our automotive and diesel mechanics will fix it right the first time. Commercial Tire Centers, West Crawford and North 9th in Salina.
Commercial Tire Centers, where service is everything.
Oh my, what a fresh smell, and this entire place is so clean.
You would never guess our friend here is talking about a porta potty. Not just any porta potty. This is a portable bathroom from Salina Septic Service. Salina Septic Service is changing the game with higher standards of cleanliness and service. Porta potties don't have to be gross, so don't accept any less when you can have the best from Salina Septic Service. Now serving Hutch, McPherson, and the Gray Bend areas. And now back to the Coach O Show with Devin Hanney and Coach Heron O'Neal.
Back here on the Coach Heron O'Neal Show, we're at AJ's in the Alley, downtown Salina. Dan's with me. Dan, we want people to come down here and fill this joint for the Coach's Show, don't we?
Right.
Well, we haven't really made a big deal out of yet is we got a couple guys down here. Tyree Adams here with us. Man, these guys would love to sign autographs. They'd love to sign your jersey, your football, whatever you got. So every Monday, put it on your planner to come down and join us here at AJ's in the Alley, downtown Salina. We start the Coach O Show at 5:30. We go to 6:30, and it's your chance to meet and greet every single Monday the players, the coaches, owners for the Salina Liberty. Who else has that kind of access?
And great food, cold drinks, perfect location to meet at to start your week out, right?
Absolutely, and some great sponsors as well. Crown Distributors, their products, a couple of them on the table here in front of us. You can get those here at AJ's in the Alley or at Brooks Liquor here in Salina. Dan, we need to talk about the elephant in the room, right? There was some pregame festivities that were not planned for Saturday. I will take it away, and I don't think we want to get in a game of pointing fingers and who's who or anything like that, but I will let you make your statement on what the activities were Saturday.
Yeah, let me just say this, Devin. What happened pregame, our organization, our franchise doesn't want that to ever happen again. Also talking with the Omaha organization, they don't want that as well. We've done our investigation. We've provided our notes and eyewitness statements of what we saw happen. We're going to leave it in the hands of the legal authorities because that's what they're good at. I'll say this, though, Devin. We know the integrity of Heron O'Neal. We also, what we represent of our Salina Liberty franchise is that we want to be respectful, but when you get on the field, that's the team you're not going to want to see. So there's some things that we've talked about that we're going to try to do differently to try to prevent that situation from arising again. But at the end of the day, we stand by Coach Heron O'Neal. We know what he stands for. You don't get in the Hall of Fame. Besides, you got to win games, but you also have to, represent a specific character. But let me say this: what I really liked about it is the fact that I think the officials did a great job taking control of the game before the game even started. I think both ownership groups went in and addressed it with the teams, and I'm going to tell you, I was really proud of both teams and how they played on the field. They played hard. It was a great football game. There wasn't any, shenanigans that we were concerned about. And at the end of the day, I think, that's one of the classic indoor football games. And it won't be the last time we see Omaha for sure. We have to go to Omaha, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see them in the playoffs. But I want to reassure to our sponsors and to our Liberty Nation, these guys love being around the kids. They want to be role models for the kids. And so, we'll make the necessary adjustments going forward to avoid that situation from arising again.
I want to go step 2 on what you just said, Dan, and that is with extracurricular things happening pregame, whatever those were. We expected this game to be just kind of a weird deal, with a lot of emotion being involved, but it wasn't. I mean, this was a game that, man, between the lines and between the walls, it was a great football game. And I think that credit goes to the coaching staffs, to the players, and to the officials on all 3 levels.
Absolutely.
Because what a great football game to watch.
Well, let me tell you, we have, I think, the greatest general manager in indoor football in Francis Flax. I mean, he's been around this before, the way he addressed it with, the team, the way our coaching staff took it. I think Heron O'Neal did a tremendous job to step in and address that with the team to say, look, we're here to play football. Let all that other extracurricular stuff stay out of your mind. I really want to address the officials did a tremendous job before, during the game, and I think our team responded big time, Devin. I think we grew up on how to handle adverse situations like that. Across the board, and I think the Omaha organization, their team played tremendously hard. That was a great football game.
Yeah. It really was. 36-31, Salina Liberty get the victory. They moved to 2-0 now on the season. Now let's turn the page and let's look to Saturday, because this is a unique situation. And we kind of got into this last year with a lot of indoor football teams floating around that aren't in our league and maybe have aspirations of joining the league, maybe seeing what the league is all about, and teams that want to come in and they want to compete. They want to get their shot, right? So we look last weekend and we see the Gillette, Wyoming Mustangs getting a game with Dallas Prime. Dallas is one of those non-league teams, but we've seen what they've done in the past. They're very, very competitive. They go in and they beat the Mustangs and prompt a chain reaction of firing the coaching staff and all that stuff down through the ranks. We have a team coming in from Springfield, Missouri, the Queen City Insane Asylum, that they've been around a little bit. They've already played Omaha this year, and they're going to come into Tony's Pizza Event Center. And I think for any of us to brush this game aside, whether it be radio people, fans, owners, anybody, to dismiss this game as just kind of a mop-up game, that'd be a mistake, wouldn't it?
No, absolutely. You know, Devin, there's a real fine line, as you know, between college and semi-pro and then the CIF and CFL and the NFL. There's a lot of tremendous athletes out there that are just trying to get established. There's a lot of teams out there that would like to prove that they belong in a league. This is their chance to come in and, shock the world, right? And that's what you saw happen last week. I watched the film on this Queen City Insane Asylum as they played Omaha. They have some great athletes on that team. They seem to have a coaching staff that has a strategy. We got to be ready to strap them up on Saturday night. I'm pretty confident with our coaching staff and with Heron O'Neal, Coach Martinez, Coach, the rest of the coach staff, Dylan, my son Dylan Mendocina, and then, of course, Kavanaugh, Coach Kavanaugh. Yeah. They're going to be ready to go. They're going to have a scheme. They started scheming already yesterday. The victory of Omaha was only about a 12-hour ordeal, and they already started planning Sunday for the coming week.
So let's talk about all the other stuff. You guys always have a great game day plan. Coach O and I talked about the atmosphere. And, I told him, I said, broadcast crew rolled in. We get there about 3 o'clock. Man, there are tailgates going on everywhere, and they're big-time tailgates. That translated and came into the arena with the crowd that was there at Tony's Pizza Event Center for the game. It was a loud crowd. It was an engaged crowd. It was a crowd that definitely gave you a home field advantage. What are the activities planned for this Saturday coming up?
Yeah, Devin, you helped us start this franchise. I mean, from the very beginning, and it's been a slow process. We took our lumps the first 2 or 3 years, as you know. We then, brought in Coach Heron O'Neal, and it's been a slow improvement every year, and jump right to the playoffs where we're a championship caliber. But Liberty Nation, let's talk about this because our fan base, when you look at the last 2 years, has grown. The way the players get out into the community, they've become a piece of that puzzle that we talked about last week or the week before. And I'm telling you that we have a lot of fun activities for the kids. We really have two demographics. It's a family activity where the kids can really get involved, where they can line up. We want them to line up in our new helmet as the players come through and run through that helmet. But we have new games this year. We have new sponsors. We have a lot of local talent that's going to sing and perform for us. It's a chance, we're an outreach of our community, right? So Coach or General Manager Francis Flax, they've connected really well with local schools and, local teams. And I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of fun things to do. If the atmosphere is great, come tailgate, come in and watch a football game. They got good food in there. I saw the food in the concessions. We're proud of the crowd. We want to thank the crowd, but let's everybody bring one additional fan or one friend of the family to this week's game. We're just going to continue to grow this thing.
That's always the challenge, right? You want to have that pyramid scheme. If you've been to a game and you know somebody that hasn't, bring them because that's just going to keep building. We're that confident in this product. So when you talk about the game, of course, we know 6:35 is kickoff with Queen City. The doors open about 5:30. But the parking lots are open pretty much all darn day.
Yeah.
The box office, if you don't have your tickets, and we know a lot of walk-up people come in, you don't know what your Saturday is going to bring with you, especially if you have the kids or things like that. The box office at Tony's Pizza Event Center on game day opens at 3 o'clock.
That's right.
You can walk up and get your tickets. And I think it's amazing to me, and people do not realize this, and I tell them, and it kind of sets them back a little bit, how cheap tickets really are. You can get in the door. Kids' tickets start at $7.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great family event. It's something to do that's inexpensive, and I'm telling you, you're going to have the time of your life. We go back, Devin, and look at the posts, on Facebook after we put the pictures up. We're seeing a lot of first-time fans that have showed up at the game last week. And so those are the fans we really want to connect with on top of our fan base because we know they're going to be there. But if we can expand those that come for the first time and they have that type of an experience, it's going to continue to blossom. But we were proud of that crowd from last week.
Absolutely. You mentioned the helmet. Big helmet. One Vision Aviation right in the middle of it. Liberty logos on the side. That was fun to see. And it was fun to see the kids and the players together running out of that face mask before the game. That was awesome. awesome.
Yeah. You know, the kids love that, to be able to get on the field. And if you go out on our Facebook, they just posted a bunch of pictures. Our players love these kids in the community. They go out in the community, you know, whether it's at the schools or the events that they participate in. They love going and signing autographs after the game's over. You can see it as they sit in the chair and the way they engage with the players. I love the picture of Iron Man holding a little girl on his shoulder. I mean, she looked like basically a little cutout doll on his shoulder because he's not the smallest guy in the world. But these players love to be role models for our kids.
Appreciate your time. I'll see you Saturday, sir.
Thank
Dan
you, Devin.
Mendencina, he's one of the owners and going to be a consistent guest, I think, here on the Coach Heron O'Neal as we get updates. It is brought to you by AJ's here in the Alley, downtown Salina. Also, St. John's Military School, Historical Museum, Brooks Liquor, and also our friends at Crown Distributing here talking Salina Liberty football. 6:35 Saturday. Get your tickets, and we will see you when they play the Queen City Asylum. Thanks for joining us for the Coach O Show. See you next Monday.
Go Liberty.